So the scenario of my speech is to celebrate my sister's 23rd birthday, which was on June 30th. My sister Renee and I used to be enemies, but over time we have become best friends, and today I would like to celebrate her birthday with you. My source comes from a website which I will be stating throughout the speech, and this is relevant to my audience because the things I have learned throughout my life anyone can use. And to celebrate my sister's birthday, I would like to inform you on how she has taught me forgiveness, communication, and to love everyone. Growing up, my sister and I never got along, and it took a long while for that to change. We would never talk, but we would always argue when we did. She's a few years older than me, but I always would work to be the same size as her. Well, I would try and eat more than she did and try and compete with her and try to be as big as she was. But like most siblings, we had differences, and Renee and I always seemed to fight over those differences. For example, there was a point when I was probably the same size, if not bigger than my sister, and she made me mad for some reason, so I took her and I hung her on the doorknob by her underwear, and she couldn't get down. And that was just an example of like an everyday kind of scenario. We would always fight like that, and we never really talked. But all of that started to change when we started going to church camp in the 5th grade, and the things that we learned there, I think that really has shaped our relationship, because we actually started to understand each other better, and we would actually communicate. And after that camp, that was kind of when our relationship really started, and we still fought, but not as much, and we would be able to talk to each other. Once my sister and I became closer, I figured out that I could actually learn a thing or two from her. And the first thing that Renee has exemplified growing up is communication. And I believe that our relationship is a perfect example of this. We didn't get along because we didn't talk, and we would always just do things to make the other person angry. But once we went to that camp, we figured out that, yeah, we still do fight, but at the end of the day, we still love each other, and we figured out that we could talk things out, and honestly seemed like nothing ever happened. And a quote that I commonly think of that resembles my sister and I is one by Margaret Mead, which says, "Sisters are probably the most competitive relationships within the family, but once the sisters are grown, it becomes the strongest relationship." Renee is also a perfect example of someone who is great at both loving and forgiving, and she has helped me become better at them as well. And these things I learned from Renee, honestly, all started at the church camp, because she taught me all of those things. And I will admit that growing up, I really was not a very nice sister to Renee. I would always beat her up or be mean to her. And somehow, Renee always found a way to forgive me, and she would still play with me and claim me as her sister. Because she always teaches me now, and since we've been growing up, she's taught me that God forgives us for our sins, and He teaches us mercy through His mercy on us. And I think that really helps put into perspective that we're supposed to forgive everyone. And Renee is always constant in that, and having her as a role model has really helped me learn how to forgive and how to love people. And not only by teaching me forgiveness through God, she has taught me to learn to love through God. Because like forgiveness, God also showed us love by sending His Son to die for us. And a goal in religion, if you are religious, is to try and be more like God. And for example, God is love, and so we are supposed to love our neighbors, love everyone. And I'm so glad that my sisters taught me these things, because as learning under her, I have not only learned to love other people, but I have learned to love my sister and gain a best friend. So, to conclude, my sister and I used to not get along, but growing up, she has taught me to communicate and to love and to forgive. I hope you've learned a little more about my sister and what she has taught me over the years as we grow up. And I hope this helps you to think about the important people in your life and what they have taught you.